This is our Chamber Lead webinar. These are monthly sessions that we do to focus on some kind of education, some kind of topic for businesses. And today we have Ange from Homestead. So if you would introduce yourself and let people know who you are.
Yes. Hi, everybody. My name is Angela Mueller. I go by Ange. Along with my husband, Matt, we own the Homestead Boutique here in downtown Albert Lea, Minnesota. We are in our seventh year of business already. It's wild how time flies. But downtown Albert Lea has been a fantastic community for us to be a part of, and we continue to learn as we go. But we love putting together events and helping to share the gem that is downtown Albert Lea.
Yes, thank you. Today we're going to talk about how downtown businesses can take community events or bigger things that are happening in the area and turn that into sales ultimately. But increasing with the increased traffic, how do we get people to actually engage and come into the stores and purchase? So, can you tell me a little bit about your experience starting Homestead? Where you kind of started things and then moving into downtown and how you got more involved in the downtown scene here in Albert Lea.
Yeah. So our story goes back quite a ways. So I was a self-employed graphic designer for a long, long time. The time came for my husband. He was a longtime plumber. It was just getting to be a job that was taking its toll on our family, very demanding. And he decided to join me in self-employment. And at that time, we started Homestead Design, which was a home-based home decor business. We worked on that together for a few years. Like I said, home based at our at home workshop. And we sold our home decor that we created together at various events, maker fairs, craft shows, kind of traveled around southern Minnesota doing that for about 3 years. Then the opportunity came up for us to start a tiny little store in kind of a collaborative way. Down the hill from where we are now, just a couple of blocks outside of downtown. And that collaborative little shop went on for a handful of months, and then the opportunity came for us to take the store over as our own. So at that time was when we rebranded the store as the Homestead Boutique, took it on. Like I said, on our own, and really grew from there. So rather than just our handcrafted home decor, the store blossomed into what it is now. We carry a wide range of women's clothing, the largest selection of all sizes in probably southern Minnesota, from small to 3 and 4X. We also have a lot of gift items. We've got several little rooms here in the shop. So we've got a home goods room with kitchen items, a gift room with lots of local items, and a tiny toy store as well. So
I love
the
that.
store has really grown to kind of, we kind of try to just meet the need and make it really convenient for people to shop here in Albert Lea, to, listen to the customers' needs and just bring in things that our community wants to see.
Yeah, no, you do a great job with having such a variety of awesome, cute things that are always fun to look at. So,
Thank you.
so when did you first kind of realize that you could take advantage of these community events, or like did you just test some things out at first, or how did you kind of get into the coordination of the events to sales pipeline?
hmm it wasn't very long after we got started. I would say within our first year was when the very first Sip and Stroll event happened in downtown Albert Lea. And so, like I said, our original store was a couple of blocks outside of downtown,
Yeah.
but we were able to be a part of that Sip and Stroll event, which brought a lot of foot traffic to our store. People who maybe if you were just, walking up and down Broadway, you wouldn't have seen us. But since there was this event that gave people a reason to go to all the stores on the passport, on the map, we had a lot of foot traffic from that. And then I think, pretty much right away we got involved, got to know some of our fellow downtown businesses. We had already known a couple of them But then as time went on, as we got into, a couple of years down the road, getting into our downtown group, building those relationships further was really, I think, when it started to snowball even more.
What would you, if you had some words of advice for a store that maybe has just moved to downtown, not quite sure how to get their bearings with being a part of events like that? What's some words of advice that you would give a new owner just to
Mhm.
get started?
Yes. Well, I think first of all, anyone that wants to know anything in a town should contact their chamber or their CVB and ask them,
Yep.
because they will know. They will know what they have going on, whether they're the ones that lead it up or whether it's a particular business owner who's very involved. You should really get in touch with so and so. That would be a great starting point. Or take a look around and see what seem to be the active businesses that are very active online or that are doing a lot of things. A lot of
Yeah.
times that, and get in touch with those people. I think most people are more than willing to share their knowledge and
Yeah.
to welcome others. I know here in downtown Albert Lea, we have a very, very collaborative atmosphere. It's definitely collaborating, not competing. We
Yeah.
know that we are stronger together. We know that we all work hand in hand and we refer customers around. None of us could succeed if it was only us.
No.
So
Right.
the more the merrier. We love to help others share what's worked and what hasn't. And we do have a really diverse group of businesses here in downtown Albert Lea, some who have been here, some brand new, only here for a couple of years. We're in the middle, we're in our seventh year, which is kind of a long time for a small business. And then
Yeah.
it goes all the way to Plymouth, who's been there for over 100 years. So we've got a lot of knowledge to share. And I think, asking, just asking and finding people to connect with is great.
Yeah. Um, are there benefits to? I mean, obviously, there's benefits to engaging with like the larger community events. Um, are there, from your experience, and I know I'm pretty sure doing your own kind of pop up event, or like have you had good traction with that? And can you talk a little bit about how you pull social media into that? Because you are very good at that connection between the physical space and the online space.
hmm Um, Right. So I think the way our events, your first question, most of the events that we do are a collaborative, broader,
Yep.
downtown wide event for the most part. I would say probably the only event that we do that's a standalone would be our anniversary event once a
Okay.
year. And that's just, we do it kind of as a fun open house style kind of a thing, another reason to celebrate another year of business type of a thing.
Yep.
So that one is a standalone, but the rest I would say are pretty much
Parts
shared
of the
with
bigger
others.
thing.
Yeah, and we can get into kind of some of the details on those events,
Yeah.
but as far as social media goes, I really had to learn that from the ground up. Before we started our first home-based business, Homestead Design, that was our predecessor to the Homestead Boutique.
Yep.
um, I wasn't even on social media myself, so we had like no presence at all. We were kind of just keeping away
Yep.
from all of it.
Yep.
And so I really had to learn how Facebook even worked. But kind of the best and worst thing that happened was we took the store over as our own in 2019,
Yep.
right before the pandemic.
Yep.
So the store was just a baby. The store was a few months old when the pandemic hit, and
Yeah.
we needed to close our doors for a while. And we were kind of at a breaking point. We're like, it's
What are
sink or
you gonna
swim
do?
right
Yeah.
now. And at the time, we were still doing some of our events with our decor business. We would go, one of us would go on the road and one would stay back at the
Mhm.
store.
Yep.
And then in 2020, all our events were canceled, and we saw a lot of our maker friends, folks that we'd met at events, they didn't make it through that.
Right.
And so we knew it was, this was the time. It's make it or break it, and let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
that was when we started doing live videos.
Yeah.
And when the store was closed, I can't remember even now how long it was that we were closed for. But this business is our family's only livelihood.
Right.
Neither of us has another job. So this was like, we
You
have
got
four
to
kids.
make it work.
We have to make this work.
Yeah.
So the store was closed, but we would go in there and we would do live videos and live sales and show items. And one of the first ones was purses. We got a shipment of purses, and I showed all the purses and numbered them, and we mailed them to people right here in town who couldn't come to get them, or we would do the curbside pickups or whatever we
Yeah.
could. And so we it was kind of by necessity that we started having to do those live sales. And then throughout that time, after things started to open up, we still had a lot of customers who were not comfortable yet coming
Yeah.
back um, in public. And our own family really had to be super careful at that time too. We had loved ones with health issues, and so we were trying to be very respectful of everyone in what their needs were in that really sensitive time.
Yeah.
And so we kept doing the live videos, and that continues to now. It's turned into a little show that we do every so often, and everything. And it's become a really big part of how we operate our business. So those, our Sunday Night Live little shows that we do,
Yeah.
as well as just little hit or miss videos here and there that we do at different times. The live videos have become a huge part, and it's really enabled our customers to get to know us. And I really think that that's one of the main reasons people shop and continue to shop with small businesses when you have so many other options and you have
Yeah.
Amazon at your fingertips. Why
Right.
do you come to us week
Well,
after
it's the personality thing, right? It's like
week?
they feel like they know you and that you have shown the authenticness of you
Yeah.
online.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, they do. They do
it's
get to know us, and our customers become friends, and you build those relationships, and it turns your store into the mom and pop shops that they used to be. And
right.
it's still the way it is. And you know everybody's name when they come in, and they feel special, and they feel seen and heard and valued.
Yeah.
And so that really has become a huge part of how we do business.
Yeah. One thing that I have seen that I just am so impressed with is when there are these big community events, you and Matt are like out there in costumes and like encouraging people to come in. And can we talk a little bit about what you have tried and what you have seen work when, there's lots of people milling around downtown, but they're not necessarily there to shop? Like they might be there for the car show or they might be there for some other event. But you all have been really successful at engaging and like encouraging. So can you talk a little bit about your trial and error and what you have found in your testing?
Yeah, yeah. It's so much fun. I mean, and part of the reason why this works for us, I think, is my husband Matt is just a character.
Yeah.
He just is a goofball. He's up for anything. He loves to put on a silly costume and goof around and have fun, and he makes everything a party. so
Yeah.
so that really works well for me. But I think a big part of it is that since our business was based in a small business that started at street fairs and
Yeah.
events, we know that vibe, and we know that when we were doing events and we had a tent filled with our home decor under the tent, some events are it's a craft show and women are there to shop, and I'm buying decor and I'm buying candles and I'm doing this. And
Yeah.
other events are a festival, and there's music and there's drinks and there's food trucks and there's entertainment and there's some pop-up vendors.
Yeah.
We weren't selling anything at those. Nobody's buying a giant sign to
Right.
carry around at a street fair music festival when they want to have a cocktail and a walking taco in their hand.
Right.
So we were like, how do we still make this worth it? It's huge visibility. How do we harness that?
Yeah.
And so some of the things we learned then, we continue to use now in our storefront, where knowing that not every event and not every customer is going to translate into a purchase that day. And that is totally okay. That's not a bad thing. Taking that opportunity to put yourself in front of all these people who are out having a good time. We look at every event like we're throwing a party.
Yeah.
It's like we kind of, I mean, this place is our second home. We treat it like we're inviting guests into our home for the day. How can we make this party fun for everybody that's coming? What's the theme of the party? What
Yeah.
are we serving? Is there a party favor, like a prize? Is there some special, like what are we doing for this party to make it feel like a party? We want them to feel like when they came in, they had a blast. That was a fun place. Those people are fun, they're friendly. Um, Even if they didn't want to buy something that day, they're just out having a good time. They're going to remember and come back again when they do need something. They're going
Yeah.
to come back for Christmas shopping. They're going to come back for other times, but also connecting with them, getting them on your radar, whether that is like and follow our page, whether that is, back in our event days, we had a clipboard on our checkout that asked for their email, and we would give away a prize. If you'd like to
Yeah.
sign up for the email list, we'll put you in our prize drawing, and then we had them on their email list. Some way to connect with them again in the future, to create a mailing list or create a social media following. We were harnessing that traffic, whether or not they were making a sale that day. That was kind of icing on the cake if they wanted to buy something. We were just getting in front of more people, introducing ourselves to more people, trying to impress more people so that they would want to
Right.
come again.
Yeah, I love that. Is it's not really about sales all the time because
Mhm.
you're always it's about the relationship and the connection that you're building. And I think people kind of forget that you have to have that trust in order to have the transaction.
Yes.
And so, yeah, any way that you can like build those trust points and touch points of communication, right? It makes a huge difference.
Mhm.
Um, we just are coming out of a weekend of one of our community events. So, can you talk a little bit about some of the things that are behind you
Mhm.
that maybe you did this last weekend to get people engaged in the uh, shopping opener that happened this
Mhm.
last weekend.
Yes. So yeah, it was just Mother's Day was yesterday, if people are watching this live, and so every year on Mother's Day weekend, it's also the fishing opener in Minnesota, and so we call it our shopping opener event. It's always the Saturday of that weekend, and so we do like a downtown wide event with all the stores doing different activities, different promotions with our shopping opener theme. This is probably going to be backwards when I show you this because my screen. Nope, it's okay. Um,
It looks good.
So that was like our branding for the event. So we, kind of tied in. It's colorful, it's fun, it's springy. We've got the fishing theme, but it's Mother's Day weekend, so it's kind of girly. And we call it kind of our kickoff to the summer season. It's just a way get people out on. It's usually beautiful weather. Get them out shopping through downtown Albert Lea. This particular event is one where it's free to attend. It's not like some of our events are a sip and stroll where they have to purchase a passport. This event isn't like that. This is just a free event. And so the way that we market that is we create an event map that shows all the participating locations. This has really been a helpful tool because we do get a lot of people from out of town who come who maybe aren't real familiar with downtown Albert Lea. And even the locals like to see this because it's a reason to stop into all these businesses, maybe places that they haven't been before or have forgotten about. So the map helps people to kind of check their way through. And then we encourage everyone to just come up with different fun ideas to incorporate, make it an event, make it fun. And there's lots of different ways that we all do it. One thing in particular, we always try to have a few ingredients here at the Homestead Boutique in our events. We A lot of the time, we try to have a game of some kind. We try to have a door prize of some kind of a promotion, and then often we have some kind of a sample. We do carry some food items, so it's easy for us to give samples, but other stores might just do a little refreshment. Maybe we've got some cookies or some lemonade or something. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, but a few of those things makes it feel like when people come to each store, you're not just walking into a store on any normal day and shopping. You're there for an event. There's something going on. It feels like you're invited to a party. And at each store, it's like you're stopping by all these little spots on the party route to see, what are we doing here? This is fun. And they feel like when they left, they didn't just go shopping for the day. They went to an event. They had an experience. They had a fun day out, whether or not they were shopping.
Yeah. Do you do anything to like outside of the store to like draw them in? Is there like I've seen sometimes they'll have like, sandwich boards out or whatever, but are there any tips that you have for like the exterior catch their eye kind of thing?
hmm I know a lot of the stores on Broadway do the sandwich board thing. Our location, we are a block off of Broadway, and our street, I tell you, must be the windiest street in Albert Lea.
So you can't have anything out there.
The wind is right down the hill, so we're kind of a wind tunnel. So we personally do not do the sandwich board thing. But I've seen that. That's great downtown. We thankfully we're a pretty visible building the way we're
Yeah.
situated, but especially the stores on Broadway, where there's a lot of cars parked and a lot going on. Those sandwich boards, I think, are a great thing. There are different things people can do as far as decor. We have a little bench outside. I've got some pots of flowers out there that I change seasonally. I paint our windows. Our whole store is just kind of a big glass
Yeah.
storefront. Um, but we don't have the traditional storefront windows that you can put like mannequins in. It's kind of funny the way our store is set up. So I paint. I like to paint. So I
Yeah.
paint seasonal scenes on our store and things like that. For the season, so that's kind of fun. I know there's some different do's and don'ts as far as things you can put out as far as flags and things like that. But I know different communities have different rules on those. But it is kind of nice just to draw people in. I think depending on the event and depending on the store, just propping your door open, if
Yeah.
that works. Again, that doesn't work in our
You might
store.
lose your door.
Yeah, but some stores, if you just prop the door open and like that is very inviting.
Yeah.
You could put a little sign on the sandwich board, something like that. There's a lot of different ways to kind of create that excitement. Yeah, and then just if the door is open and you have fun music play, we are big on music here. We always have fun music playing, so that kind of thing is enticing too.
Yeah, I love that. It's all about the experience of coming in.
Mhm.
Um, is there anything that you do specifically for these events where you might change the pathway that they come through the store, or like thinking about putting certain products out in certain areas, or like where your games are? Like, do you think about that kind of setup, like changing things around when you're expecting more foot traffic that way?
We've tried different things different times. Our store, we have a very full store. We have a lot going
Yeah.
on here, so we don't have a lot of free space to work with. And our checkout counter is a pretty small area, so we do try to be mindful of keeping the traffic flow good.
Yeah.
We try to strategically place things like our game or things like that, trying to keep those in an area where it's not going to create a bottleneck. We want people to still be able to shop freely and get around.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of times when I do actually remove a rack or two, which seems counterintuitive. It seems like this is an event day. We want to sell all things. Actually, I want room for all the people. I want people
Right.
to come in, again, looking at it like you're having a party, you're inviting a bunch of company over. it's going to be fuller than a normal day. Maybe
Yeah.
we want to create a little more floor space so people can come in, people are having a good time, they're visiting, they can still shop around. So I've kind of come to realize it's okay to subtract a few things. We do think about what we're featuring. We've got a couple of areas, a display table. So we think about what we want to feature that day and put those there. This weekend at the shopping opener event, we wanted to do our door prizes a little bit differently.
Yeah.
We used to always do that at the counter, and it was just, um, stop by the counter before you leave and sign up for the door prize. Well, that was one more thing at the counter when it's already a busy day.
Yeah.
So this time we tried something different here. We actually did, so again, it was that fishing theme
Yeah.
event. So we had little jars. So we've had a jar of gummy worms and then jars of goldfish. And
Nice.
we had four of these. So we had four little game stations, we called them, throughout the store. And it was just, we had these signs, guess how many goldfish are in the jar. And then we had slips and a pail where they could just guess, write down their name, their phone number, and their guess. And there was four spots through the store. So that kind of led them through the store.
Nice. Yeah.
This was a very family friendly event. It was Mother's Day weekend. We had a lot of groups of moms and kids, lots of kids in, lots of dads shopping with kids for Mother's Day.
Yeah.
So that was our way to greet everyone. The kids would come in and say, hey guys, you get to look through the store, find all these game stations and sign up. And the kids had a ball with it. So that freed up space at the counter by not having our door prize at the counter, and it led them through the store. And then now today, then I will announce the winners of these. We always do that afterwards. And then those
Nice.
people, those winners from each jar, then will win a door prize. So that was fun, kind of a way to get people throughout. And it actually worked out really well.
I love that. And what a fun way to like have them kind of adventuring through the store too. So you're not having a bottleneck
Mhm.
at the front desk.
Mhm.
Um, One of the things that I am curious about, and I don't know if this has been done or if you have tried and it didn't work, um, anything with like cross promotion between the businesses. So like if you purchase at this one, you get a discount at another, or like any kind of collaboration that way between the businesses of what their promo is or what their sale is.
Mhm. Yeah, yep, we like to do that a lot. We do that actually a lot at one of our fall events. So that's the big buck hunt that happens on the hunting opener weekend, actually,
Yep.
early November, and that's kind of our kickoff to the holiday season. So with that event, what we do is we do a coupon swap with any of our neighboring businesses. And so and that's whoever wants to participate can. And let me grab one of our coupons here. So I encourage everybody to have some type of little coupon. We have what's called boutique bucks.
Yep.
It's a little $5 off a $25 purchase that we use these for various things throughout the year. But at events like that, we will swap. So we'll just go around and trade a handful of coupons. And then we just encourage everyone, you can use them however you would like. So we will use those neighbor coupons, we call them, in other ways. So let's say, for example, we have coupons from Plymouth Shoes or Between Friends. We've got that handful of coupons and we'll use them. Sometimes we'll use them as a prize. Like if you spin this wheel and if you land on the green fish, you win a coupon to Plymouth.
Got it.
Or yes, we'll use those a lot for prizes. And people love that. People really appreciate not only a reason to go to another store, like, oh man, yeah, I do need some new shoes, or I haven't been in Plymouth in a while. Great. Now I have a reason to go.
Yep.
Um, they also love that feel good feeling of these businesses are friends with each other.
Yeah.
This is a community.
Yep.
It really builds that community feeling, and they feel really good that it's something they're supporting. That's such a positive spot in our community. We also encourage them to use them however we want. We don't put stipulations on how they distribute these. So again, like we do our Sunday Night Live videos, and we do a lot of prizes there. One of the prizes might be a neighbor coupon, and
Okay.
then that viewer on that live needs to come in the next week, stop by to pick up their coupon. So they come into my store to get that coupon and go to the other store. So now we have taken that person from watching us on Facebook to coming in here and going into another store. It's just
Yeah.
getting them in, which is always great. And again, they might not make a purchase, but it was a reminder that we're here, a visual of what we have, and a reminder, we're there in the back of their mind the next time they
Yeah.
want to shop for something.
They're like, oh, hey, we had a great experience with that. Like, we should go there instead. Yeah, I
Yep.
love that. So what if you're feeling, as a new shop owner, if I'm feeling super overwhelmed and like, oh my gosh, this is so much, like, I don't know anything about marketing, I'm really overwhelmed by these events, and like, I just don't know where to start. What do you think, like, the most easiest kind of baby steps into this world would be for somebody to do if they wanted to get involved with an event like this?
hmm I would say find who is your person that you can ask questions of.
Yep.
So whether that is, someone in the office downtown at the chamber, the CVB, do you have someone that can be your point person for questions? Or if they are not heading up that event, find a neighboring business, another business, go introduce yourself around until you find the one that you connect with. Find the one who is, the friendliest one that will kind of take you under their wing. Get their phone number or their email and just ask them the questions. And don't be afraid to ask. I think people are very glad to share, their experiences. And so I think having someone is key, someone that
Yep.
you can ask, because it can seem like, oh my gosh, there's a lot going into this event. And I said I'd be a part of it. My name is on the map, but now I'm not quite sure how this works. What time is this? What do I say about this? How do I do the game? Where do I get the coupons? Um, Having someone that you can ask is a huge thing.
And do you think it doesn't have to be elaborate, right? Like, it can just be um, some kind of interactive, like a photo booth or some kind of fun thing, but it's more about that experience, right? And like, not, you don't have to overwhelm them with everything all at once, but just like a little bit of special for that day.
Mhm. Right. That's what we always encourage people to remember, just with our downtown group too, is that it doesn't have to be the whole store's on sale. Like that never has to be the case. We don't have the margins to be doing that, so we can't be giving away the farm every time there's an event, and that doesn't have to be the case. It can be, you can have something on special. You could have one rack that's a special buy. You could have a little free gift with purchase. The door prize drawing, feel people love a door prize drawing. People love the chance to win a prize, and it doesn't have to be expensive. It can be a gift card to your store, which costs you $0 until it's redeemed. It can be, little things like one of our we carry a line of hand lotions, and when we order, they send us free samples. So we use those samples as prizes. It can be things like that. It doesn't have to be expensive things that you're giving as a prize, but prizes are always great. Some kind of a simple game, like I said, is great. Some little refreshment feels special, feels fun. And then my color printer is my best friend. So when we do these events, again, we've got the theme. Think of it like a party. Think of it like you're inviting people into your home, and we're gonna, you don't have to you don't have to have a lot of expensive decorations, but I do print out the signage. This is posted around the store, in leading up to it as well. I use the same graphics in Canva to create my little promo signs. So you can have one item. I had 20% off jeans. So one narrow category in our store was on sale. But it's got the theme on there, so it feels like it connects. Same with our little samples. I create little signage to put beside our sample that matches the theme. So they're little things, it's not big things, but little things that kind of make it feel cohesive, feels like part of the event.
I love that. And it ties it all together and kind of reminds them as they're going through all the
Mhm.
different ways. That's really cool. What's coming up next? What is there any big events this summer that you're looking forward to? What do you see on the horizon for what's happening
Mhm.
this season?
Right. Well, so we're excited. We're adding a new event, actually. So our the longtime Eddie Cochran car show event has been a huge thing in downtown Albert Lea for years and years and years, but never was really a shopping event. It was a car show that took place downtown. So this year we are creating a shop hop event to tie in with that. So we're collaborating with the event organizer, but kind of piggyback on that theme. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be a Friday Saturday event. So it's one of those times when we know our downtown is going to be flooded with people. The streets are going to be full of people. How do we entice them to come in when they're here to be looking at cars out in the street? And so by creating this shopping event, it's got its own Facebook event post, but it will be linked to the official event post.
Yeah.
So we've got a little bit of cross promotion going there. We will be promoting it in our stores as well with the printed signage. I have an event wall by our door with all the flyers of all the things that go on. People look at it all the time. We'll be sharing that on social media. Usually we do some sponsored posts with that as well to reach the surrounding areas because we're seeing more and more that we're attracting, people from away.
Yeah.
So drumming that up and then again creating the theme. And so if it's a car show and it's like a 50s and 60s theme and rock and roll and all that, everything, like this was all fishing, it'll be the same types of things, but it will be around
Rock
that
and roll.
theme and we'll have that fun music playing and all of those things.
That's exciting.
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to that. So, thank you so much for sharing all of your information and your best practices with us. Um, I just appreciate how open and honestly collaborative the community is in downtown. I feel like you really are a good support for each other, and I'm happy to be part of that with you. So thank you for all that you do to help our businesses thrive.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you. I know we're stronger together. Nobody goes on a day trip to visit one store. They go to
Right.
visit a shopping district, and we have a great one here, and people are noticing that and coming back again and again.
Awesome. How can people find you on Facebook?
Yeah, they can find us on Facebook or Instagram. It's the Homestead Boutique. You can search that along with Albert Lee, and we will pop up. Follow us there. We are on there all the time with all kinds of fun posts and live videos and all kinds of good stuff.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ange. It's been a
Thank
great,
you,
great
Val.
conversation. All
Yes.
right.